lesbian hunter, this is by far the most fun I've ever had writing a song. It's out, by the way. If you want to listen to it on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever music exists, it's there. If you want to further support me as an artist, the absolute best way to do that is to join my Patreon. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all of the other YouTube things, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
The only reason that men say women and children first, like when a ship sinks, is so that they can hang back and kiss each other.
No, stop! The cap goes down with the ship, they say. The cap goes down with the ship, they say. The only way's going down today. The only way's going down today. And as the water came rushing through, bid his wife a last adieu, and never ever did touch his crew. So temper your rumor, you shan't listen to her. The cap going way down's got one thing to say now. No, stop! Here comes Captain Platonic, and if he could get some, he still wouldn't want it, no. Here comes Captain Platonic.
Oh, hey, Fox. I guess I forgot that my VLC is plugged into my OBS. This is probably means that YouTube is gonna mute my stream in the replays. Because I don't know if Vinny, the singer who does that, if he copyrights if he copyrights his music. I don't know if he allows. It's not like I care. I'm bored, so I figured I was literally sitting at my gaming computer scrolling through YouTube, not watching any video, just scrolling, looking for something to watch. And I kind of realized I need to do something. I need my water. And I figured I was just going to play around with some writing.
That is one of the dumbest songs I think I've ever written. Thank you for listening to Captain Platonic. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and all of the other YouTube things. I'm also
Welcome to the stream, Fox. How are you doing today?
As an artist, you guys make what I do possible, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
You do not have to accept.
Alright, just got the notification you were streaming, your music. So yeah, something on, but yeah, it's me. When in my usual writing stream, I don't have this kind of music. I love this kind of music, but it's not what I have because it's a work stream. And these can get very distracting to me because there's lyrics in it and I start listening to the lyrics, which distracts me from the writing. Which reminds me, it's probably asleep at this point, but I'll check.
To him was no response, a pin drop could be heard, and all alone he dared to find more ladies to disturb. The sad alpha man would get put in his place, cause many times and many drinks would get thrown in his face. And though the alpha likely will one day get sent to jail, till that day he'll carry on and rarely cut the nails. Hey ho, simple men,
And should you want to check his YouTube, that is him.
To have cracked the code to have a woman's hand, but little did he know that what he thinks is fucking weird. So listen up and learn respect and maybe shave the beard.
Hopefully that got the message across. Thank you for listening to the Sad Alpha Man. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'm also on Patreon. That is the absolute best way to support me as an artist. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.
The bastard in the kitchen used to sing a lovely song, and all the town would come around and all would sing along. The manner that he sang, it seemed that he could tell no lies. It's quite a feat that none could see the shit.
Black Friday is now at least where you are, and the prices on our sweets have dropped again, like 50%. Very cool. Great cheap candy, very nice. Lucky you.
Trust was gone. Bastard in the kitchen. Nothing we can do right now but sing a different song. The bastard in the kitchen. Nothing we can do but drag his name until it's gone. The bastard in the kitchen. Nothing we can do right now but sing a different song. The bastard in the kitchen. Nothing we can do but drag his name until it's gone. Bastard in the kitchen just isn't who we thought. Turns out that this one's nobleman's already fucking bought. And if he ever thinks he can be more than TikTok's bitch, I highly recommend that he remember who he is. She said, I'll take the reins, you take the men to the right. We'll kick the doors to the floor like a ghost in the night. She'll get us dead. A taste of my own medicine, I don't know when she'll have her last adrenaline. I'll follow far to the stars way up above, into the dark. At her side I'm reveling, and by the shore in the summer sky we whisper o'er castle walls nearby. She said, I'll take the reins, you take the men to the right. We'll kick the doors to the floor like a ghost in the night. She said, I'll take the reins, you take the gold and the wine, and we'll be gone by the dawn if the stars all align. She's singing, ooh, oh, 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 oh. I'll take the reins, I'll take the reins. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. I'll take the reins, I'll be right here. I'll be right here. I sing about her at the bars. I'll hold my
You're leaving? Alrighty, well, have a good rest of your day. Yep. It's almost Christmas already. You got an idea for what your next fanfic? Well, cool. Good luck with that.
Take the gold and the wine, and we'll be gone by the dawn if the stars set up camp in a midsummer's day, and the bear cooked his fish a mere 10 yards away. And Rose minded her business, and the bear did the same, and ne'er was a conflict of the bear and the dame. A lad may help, a lad may harm, but the bear don't care, the bear don't care. A lad may cause to sound the alarm, the bear don't care, the bear don't care. A lad may choose to shoot his shot, but the bear just straight up does not care. A lad may care, a lad may not, but the bear don't care, the bear don't care. Who would win between the sad, sad alpha man and the lesbian hunter? I mean, you already know the answer, right? This is the tale of the lesbian hunter. Sat at a pub with a drink and her lover. The mood was right in a tavern's light, until one frightful sight. A rather sad-looking alpha man had hung his hat and walked right in, and sitting right next to the hunter's dame, he said, "Hey, what's your name?" Here comes the hunter, with a rage in her eyes, a lust to defend and an alpha's demise. This is the tale of not how to confront her. Said, "I'm Rose, but I'm here with my lover." Rose said nope when he said
Mastering the robe.
but still he wouldn't go. The hunter backed him up to the wall of stone and yelled out, "Leave my love alone." And with her arm all against his neck, the alpha man shoved back. Here comes the hunter, with a rage in her eyes, a lust to defend and an alpha's demise. Here comes the hunter, with her love to the side, viewing the scene as she's sipping her wine. This is the tale of the lesbian beat down. The hunter said that you're dealing with me now, kicked his legs out from within and grabbed him by the chin. Ouch! And with his nails long as razor claws, he tore some skin off her upper jaw, and to the ground she threw his crown and beat him up and down. Here comes the hunter, with a rage in her eyes, a lust to defend and an alpha's demise. Here comes the hunter, with her love to the side, viewing the scene as she's sipping her wine. Here comes the hunter, with a rage in her eyes, a lust to defend and an alpha's demise. Here comes the hunter, with her love to the side, viewing the scene as she's sipping her wine. This is the tale of the lesbian hunter. Rage in her eyes, never mercy ever was there. Left him there with his bloodied clothes, and then sat back with Rose.
I hope that clears up any confusion on who would win. Thank you for listening to the Lesbian Hunter versus the Sad Sad Alpha Man. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like, comment, and subscribe for future videos, because it's going to be a whole little cinematic universe just to keep it on the down low. If you want to support me and what I do, join my Patreon. That is the absolute best way to help me out as an artist, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
The hunter said to Rose alone by the lake, "Our journey ends without a ship we can take." Captain Platonic came upon him from out of the night and said, "I'll get you where you're going if the money is right. But just beware of the siren. She'll bring you up, bring you down when she's singing loud. Just beware of the siren. She'll tear you up, tear you down when she's calling out. She sounds like, hey, what you doing way up above me? Hit your feet and calm down and love me. I'll bring the vibe to just bring your body, 'cause I want you, I want you. The hunter said, I hear her out from the shore. The captain pled, just don't listen anymore. The sun came closer and closer as she's coming toward, until the hunter and her lover both jumped out overboard. Just beware of the siren. you do it way up above me. Get your feet wet, come down and love me. Open the valves, you just bring your body. 'Cause I want you, I want you, hey. What you do it way up above me. Get your feet wet, come down and love me. Open the valves, you just bring your body. 'Cause I want you, I want you, I want. When she's cold and teary-eyed, and the scar upon her chin hits the wind, when the sword upon her side, and the sweat upon her skin's caving in, when the witches wanna drown her, royal fighters all around her, when the fire's growing louder, hold up, hold on, but knowing that she didn't come all this way, she didn't come all this way for the bird to sing a tragedy, another song about her vanity, and no, she didn't come all this way for. When the bounty on her head says 105 dead or alive, oh, and the ones you must defend haven't eaten in days, the hunger remains. When the witches wanna drown her, royal fighters all around her, when the fire's growing louder, hold up, hold on, but knowing that she didn't come all this way, she didn't come all this way for the bird to sing a tragedy, another song about her vanity, and no, she didn't come all this way for didn't come all this way, she didn't come all this way for the bird to sing a tragedy, another song about her vanity, and no, she didn't come all this way for the bird to sing a tragedy, another song about her vanity. No, she didn't come all this way for. I wanna be the hero in your story, even when the script gets boring. I wanna go and read the final chapter, just to find out what comes after.
Hey, James.
It's finished, and there's nothing to defend. I wanna be the hero in your story. I see what happens.
Dying to wolves, dying to dinosaurs. Just plain dying. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing?
I wanna be the one against all every odds survive. I hear the change within my breath, the fear upon my skin, 'cause I wanna be the one to make it back and by your side. Oh, oh. So hold your head up, darling, don't you cry. I wanna be the hero in your story, even when the script gets boring. I wanna go to read the final chapter, just to find out what comes after. 'Cause when the villains feel
What counts? 49,445 words. Congratulations, James.
one to call the villain by his name. I wanna be the one to take the fall and take the fame. The color of the clothes I wear, it ain't the same, you know, but I wanna be the one, you know,
not very long. I was bored, so instead of sitting on my gaming computer scrolling through YouTube, not watching anything, just scrolling, I figured I'd get up and get some words in.
Cause I wanna be the one to make it back and by your side. Oh, oh. Sing it to me in the nighttime, sing me the song you like. I won't let 'em hurt you.
I should do more. The thing is, I'm not often like this.
A life you despise, oh no.
Most of the time, you know,
They won't take a piece of the
YouTube entertains me.
horses carry torches through the fire in the sky. Look in the eye of the hunter, never mercy ever was there. Heroes get remembered, the legends never die. So sing it to me in the nighttime, sing me the song you like. Hunter in the front, roses in the back. Call it what it was, love under attack. Cap is scattered out, soldiers coming near. And calling all the shots, my father in the field. Hunter in the front, roses to the side. Panic in her breath, a teardrop in her eye. And counting all the men, 100 maybe more. But all that she had left is knocking at her door. A man without virtue, a man without shame. He didn't deserve to acquire the dame, oh no. They came within earshot, the archers took aim. The hunter said fear not, before she engaged, oh no. Iron hidden iron through the fire in the sky. Look in the eye of the hunter, never mercy ever was there. Heroes get remembered, the legends never die. So sing it to me in the nighttime, sing me the song you like. Hunter in the front, roses in the back. Call it what it was, love under attack. Cap is scattered out, soldiers coming near. And calling all the shots, her father in the field. Hunter in the front, roses to the side. Panic in her breath, a teardrop in her eye. And counting all the men, 100 maybe more. But all that she had left is knocking at her door. Off in the distance to no one's delight, the kitchen bastard and the alpha in sight, marching down with their weapons in hand, razor claws and a dull kitchen knife. Bodies piled as the hunter grew weak. The captain cried as his crossbow emptied, and from the hilltop a figure with hair, a mighty roar as the barrel entered care. Plowing through the alpha with the power of the sun. He never hit anything that hard, throwing him into the bastard. Plowing and the shouting put the soldiers on the run. So sing it to me in the nighttime, sing me the song you like. Hunter in the front, roses in the back. Call it what it was, love under attack. Soldiers pile high, the father up ahead. The hunter and a sword was held by rose instead. Hunter in the front, roses to the side. Panic in her breath, a teardrop in her eye. The father calling out, mercy from afar. Approached him with the blade and pierced right through the heart. Sing it to me in the nighttime, sing me the song you like. said I'll count to 5 until then put the money in the bin. Johnny Rive pulled a knife but still the odorless refused. Said I'd rather die than let a coward tell me what to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, don't make me count anymore. I will make your life a living hell. 1/2, 3/4, the odorless was getting bored. Say son, this ain't going well. So if you wanna peel my skin, get in line. But all I see is a bitch behind the eyes. Johnny Rive pulled a knife upon the keeper of the inn. Said I'll count to 5 until then put the money in the bin. Johnny Rive pulled a knife but still the odorless refused. Said I'd rather die than let a coward tell me what to do.
I forgot to watch it. James, I'm sorry.
You got guts, sure you wanna push your luck. This will not end well for you, I'm sure. Glad I won't lie.
I got into my routine yesterday after my stream, and I just chained everything, and then I was in bed, and I didn't even remember. This morning I said I would watch it, so I apologize.
He saw that she had called his bluff. Johnny Rive looked her dead within the eye, dropped his blade right to the floor and fled into the night. Johnny Rive pulled a knife upon the keeper of the inn. Said I'll count to 5 until then put the money in the bed. Johnny Rive upon the keeper of the inn. Said I'll count to 5 until then put the money in the bin. Johnny Rive but still the odorless refused. Said I'd rather die than let a coward tell me what to do. Johnny Rive, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Johnny Rive, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. The lady of the liars got a lot upon her mind, traveling across the land with 7 strings combined. And where she's going next no one knows. Oh, her name was Rosalinda, but right now she goes by Rose. And the lady of the liars gotta leave her home behind, betrothed to a nobleman her father had assigned. And while her protest was strong and clear, he made it pretty known her home was anywhere but here. And all the roads she followed led her to nowhere she wanted to stay. And all alone she swallowed the burden of not having someone to say, hold me love till morning, and stay till the sun's going down, and play me a song of the life you found. The lady of the liars got a lot upon her mind, playing out for everyone for some to spare a dime. And while the change then was slow to start, within a year the audience around would know the part. And the lady of the liar found her fame begun to grow, when everyone around would know her name, where she would go. And though applause then would fill her head, she failed to find somebody who could fill her heart instead. And all the roads she followed led her to nowhere she wanted to stay. And all alone she swallowed the burden of not having someone to say, hold me love till morning.
Hey, Falcon! Welcome to the stream. Yes. Yes, indeed. Rare late stream for me. Boredom! Boredom is responsible. Yes, well, yeah, this is not a work stream. This is a board stream. I just wanted something fun, music-wise. Of course, it means that YouTube and Twitch are gonna mute the sound on my stream for music infraction, because I guarantee that this is not royalty free. I doubt Vinny has put his stuff out for royalty free.
Why did you leave me?
I mean, it's not like
Lesbian hunter.
it's that big of a deal.
Oh my.
Yeah, most of the time, YouTube is enough to entertain me, but not tonight. I was literally just scrolling through YouTube video, hitting the bottom, refreshing the scroll page, and at one point I went, yeah, no, I need to do something. And I considered writing at my desk, because I get everything shared at my gaming desk, and I literally could not work up the motivation. That's how this is not a work desk. So I went, you know what? Okay, I'm getting up, starting this, and I thought for a bit I would just write, not stream, and I went, you know what? I'm here, might as well stream and see if anybody shows up. Whatever happens, happens. And I get to work on this. What time? It is 5:45 p.m. for me. We should have Miracle of Sound when I'm bored. You know what? You know what? I can actually do that. I put that up because this is the because that's the one playlist for VLC that I have already made, but I can definitely get Miracle of Sound. If I'm gonna do that, I'm going to put the playlist on random. Correct me if you're wrong, but isn't there like a way of making it so the music doesn't go on the void? Oh, well, yes. Yeah, I could disconnect VLC from my OBS and then you guys would not hear anything. But there is no way that I know of to make it so that you will hear the music, but it doesn't go on the VOD. That's not to say there is not one. I don't know of it. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. Out of water.
Slave to the new
Search my electric soul for the hidden man within. Slave to the new black gold, there's a heartbeat under my skin. Search my electric soul for the hidden man within. Slave to the new black gold, there's a heartbeat under my skin. Search my electric soul for the hidden man within. Slave to the new black gold, there's a heartbeat under my skin. Search my electric soul for the hidden man within.
Kind of cozy to have music. Should head to bed, but here, not even 1% tired. I always have music of some sort. It's not usually, like I said, this active. Like, on my work days, it's brain.fm. It's background music. I like it. It's relaxing. It's supposed to help me focus. I don't know if it actually does it, but good night. All right. Sleep well. I'll be on the gaming. I'll be on the Tiger play on the playing Tiger tomorrow morning. If you want to drop by. Yes. And the rail. It was interesting. Like it's a mod pack, and it rebuilds the game. Well, it redoes the game entirely, so that you're basically not playing Skyrim. You're playing a game built on the Skyrim engine. The storyline is different, the locations are different, the characters are different. It has very good voice acting. Way better than Skyrim, actually. It is interesting. It's free. If you want to take a look at it, if you've enjoyed Skyrim in playing Skyrim and how it feels to play it, how it feels to move around the world and all that, you might enjoy this. If you are looking for something that will feel exactly like Skyrim, that's not gonna be that. They've changed how you level. They've changed how you raise your skills. But a lot of the feel of Skyrim is there. Well, I suspect that is a special case because, like I said, it's a full rework. Like if you look at it, it's not in the it's not in the workshop for Steam. It's on its own. And you need to have Skyrim to play this. Like it needs to run Skyrim under the hood so that this will play. If you do not own Skyrim, it will not play. Yeah, you're not gonna get that on Brain.fm. I'm bored, which is why I'm here writing. In terms of writing, do I work on any for fun project or similar like off stream, or is it already you do official work that you write on stream? Ah, it is mostly on stream. About the only time that I will write off stream will be fun project, and it'll be because inspiration is hitting me over the head with a 2x4 and just will not stop, and I just have to write. While this started on stream, it's a little bit like that. Crimson and Monster started off stream. I was on my gaming station between things, and the inspiration just came, and I just had to write. I try to avoid writing off stream because when I'm not working, I'm not supposed to be writing. I can easily burn myself out, so I do my best to stick to a schedule that includes time off, time when I'm not writing. And if I had been able to find the motivation to write at my gaming computer this evening, that's what would have happened with that. It's just that my gaming computer is such not a writing space that I can't, without motivation, without inspiration really hitting hard, I can't work the energy to start writing there, which is why I moved here. And once I was here, I figured let's just start streaming. What do you think what do you think your the best and the worst in terms of writing. The I'm best at pure character interaction, dialogue, people talking to each other, people bantering, people arguing, where all I have to be is them and their emotion in the moment and the words. I think I'm pretty damn good at that. Worse is everything that requires scale planning, large scale battles. I'm really bad at. It's why I try to never have them. But the way I work my stories, at some point, I always end up having a large scale battle, and the fact that I have to keep track of so many moving pieces. Yeah.
I was born a simple man, educated just to fight. But I got soul, I got conviction, and a will to put things right. We lived our lives on grinding metal. For our people we have bled. We take comfort in the rhythm of machine guns spitting lead. Grind for the dawn, backbone and brawn. Survive as the last of our kind. 'Cause the way out is through, kickbacks long overdue. Grab your gear, grab your gun, join the grind. To my friends and fallen brothers, you have offered us a chance to build a future from the wreckage in this desolate expanse. We won't let this world forget you. We got so much here to mend. You were soldiers.
Is this like Mass Effect type story I'm writing currently? Okay, this may never qualify as a story. What it is an idea my co-scripter had of taking some of mine and his world, merging them together into an amalgam of them, and then making some tweaks, but then taking 4 of those and mashing them together. And then providing the framing device that the engineers who are the creator of that multiverse are doing something. I always enjoy what his idea. He's got tons of ideas like that. I always enjoy them, but this one, stuck in my head, hasn't wanted to let go, and I started writing a chapter for the first setting, which is the Tristan series and the Heart's Life series merged together, but the role of the characters are reversed. So in Tristan is the driven character who is determined to survive at all costs. He's the criminal. Alex is the person that gets manipulated by Tristan into falling in love with him, and then in the series, through wanting to find him again, becomes a mercenary and a monster in his own right. In here, Alex is the criminal who's driven, in his case, not to survive, but to pleasure, to hedonism. And Tristan is less driven, but he's a Kelsarian instead of a Solarian. I can't remember the species in there, but they're similar enough that it's not. So I've written that, and there's 4 settings like that, and then we reach the first epilogue, which explains how they're getting merged, and basically the rat and the tiger, they're 2 engineers. They're working on project, and the tiger throws a defective world engine into the recycling bin where the rat has been throwing his experimental worlds in. Hey Jeff, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And all of that is sort of mashing together, and they have to deal with that. I have no idea where that's going to go, if anywhere, but I have ideas for the interlude at the moment more than the actual world interaction. So I figured I was going to write that. I figured I was going to put them there. They're relatively independent of what happens in the world, because they're more like they're interludes. They're framing. Give the reader a bit of an outside view as to what's going on. Hey, Evil Das, welcome to the stream from YouTube. How are you doing today? You were reading some Charlie Cochet, comparing it to your writing. I think she's okay, yeah. Not sure what to look for other than plot that makes for a compelling writing style. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, writing style is at the bottom of the list of things a writer should worry about when writing. Your style will come into being simply by the fact that you are writing. It's good to look at other writers, see what they do, and you can get ideas that way. But I really wouldn't obsess about it. It will happen even if you don't even think about it. Even if you don't try to make it happen, it will happen. It has no choice but to happen because you have your own way of writing. So, I think she's a good writer. I've read the Tin series. I think that's what it's called. I also read her Four Kings series. I haven't read anything else, mainly because after a while, it's kind of all the same. Like, she's a decent writer, but she writes pretty much always the same thing. Thirds, yes, third. There we go. That's I like shifters. I like lycanthropes. That's how I got driven to that. I really hate that she pulled probably the worst trope in the first book in the worst way. Ivaldas, nice night in your country. Lithuanian. Lithuanian. I'm trying too hard. Lithuania. Yeah. I'm sorry for mangling the name of your country. I am a little bit tired, and it's okay. Okay. The first one in book one, the human character is brought into the third because he's one of the best detective they have. And they need a fresh set of eyes on the case. I can read it, Evaldas. The problem is when I try to pronounce it, my mouth just doesn't want to cooperate. And he goes, he looks at the body and the claws, and he goes, "Are you sure that claws made these wounds?" And they go, "Yeah, of course they did." And he goes, "They don't look like claws to me." And they utterly ignore his opinion. He's the best detective they have access to, and they brought him for a new set of eyes, and they utterly ignore him. And of course he's right. And I get that it's her first book, but and the thing is, as soon as I saw that, as soon as I read that, I went, okay, that's how the killer is doing it. He's not using claws, he's using metal something. And as soon as they introduced the cutting device from the advertising agency, I went, there we go, that's what he used. Like, it was just so damn. But while she uses a lot of trope, that was the only bad one. Every other one, I think, you know what? They're good enough. Like, she plays with them. She massages them well enough that they actually work within what she does. But that one, oh. You recommend for your friend? Sure. You can recommend me to whoever you think will enjoy whatever it is that I'm doing. No, that's the look, that's the rat looking. Yeah, like that one, I couldn't suspend my disbelief on that one. I had to force myself to continue. Thank you very much, Valdas. I don't think. Okay, could she describe more of the world? Yes, she could. Does she have to? I don't think so. To me, enough of the world is implied through what they do and who is there that it works. But I speak as a minimalist, as the writer. I do all my world building through implication. I almost never tell the reader what the world is like unless it impacts the characters directly. I never go, this was the world in 20 years ago. I never do that. I will have characters talk about each other. I will have an article, stuff like that, but I almost never just state my world building. Now, if you do a more in-depth world building, that's fine. You do what works for you. If you like more in-depth world building, make your world building more in-depth. I enjoy in-depth world building. I don't need it, but I do enjoy it. Is there any genre I wish I liked in terms of writing? If I like it, I write it. Direct too much, having stuff that's part of the job we as the writers have to accomplish. We need to find the balance point where you provide the amount of world building you feel works for the story without slowing the pace down too much. You know, a way to do it is to make the world vital to the atmosphere itself. If you've read the Dresden Files, Jim Butcher is really good at making Chicago, the city of Chicago, a character in the story, so that when he's talking about the city, it doesn't feel like it slows things down because it's stuff that impacts what's going on. You know, because it's Chicago. That's how things are done there, and those kind of things. So, and here's another thing, Jeff. If you're in the first draft, do not worry about that. Right. Put as much detail as you want in the first draft. Put too much because in the second draft, you can look at it again and you can go, okay, as much as all of this is nice, I just need, the reader just really needs that, and I can add this for flavor, and then the pace can keep going. You're not sure how to edit? Honestly, there is no one way to edit. I do my editing by doing a full rewrite of a story. I write the first draft from top to bottom, and then I rewrite it in its entirety. You know, I will have the previous text underneath as reference, but I just rewrite it because at that point, the entire story is in my head. So as I'm writing it, I'm going, oh, right. I need to reference something that's going to come back down the line. Okay, this no longer worked because I changed that. But that is how I work. So, you know, in your first draft, don't worry about it. The only goal of a first draft is to be written, to exist. Just worry about concluding the story. Absolutely everything else can be addressed after that. Is there too much world building? That can be addressed after that. Is there too little world building? Which is always my case. It can be addressed after that. Is there, does the plot make no sense? That can be addressed after that. Do the character not have motivation? That can be addressed after that. Just get the story done. Maybe you're just worrying about things you see. It happens, especially in new writers, because you haven't quote unquote tested yourself. You haven't finished a story, so you don't know if you're able to finish a story. And that lends itself to a certain level of insecurity that then feels like we need to work on it harder. And then we can get caught in a loop of never finishing anything because we worry about never finishing anything, and so we have to make it perfect, but we never finish anything. My trick, the thing that worked for me when I started, was to finally stop worrying. Just write the story. Like the first time I finished the story, I had abandoned so many before that I thought I was not going to be a writer. I thought I could not write a story. And I basically went, okay, I am going to write a story from beginning to end. I don't care how bad it is. I'm going to finish one story and then I'm quitting all of this. I'm walking away. I'm never picking up a pen or a keyboard. I don't remember. But I was never going to write after that. But I was going to finish the bleeping story. And I started writing. And right down in the middle of the thing, my characters contradicted me. They literally, this was a story about a private detective and a demon coming to work together. It was called Sam and Sam, and it was supposed to be pure fun. And right down in the middle of it, the detective tells the demon to leave her alone and never come back in her life. Like, he did stuff, like, he's a demon. He did stuff to piss her off. I never saw the fact that she was going to kick it out coming. For about 3 days, I could not write. And I considered leaving it there. But I had promised myself I would finish the bleeping story. So I tried to fix it and it wasn't working. So I went, okay, you know what? At that point, I gave up. You know what? Okay, fine. I just have to finish it. So where are they after the breakup? Where are they individually after the breakup? And I just kept on writing. At that point, I no longer gave a damn because the story was already ruined. My ending was never going to happen. So why worry about it? So I just wrote. And through a series of events, yes, I did mold some of them, but just by who the characters are, they end up going in separate direction and then crossing path again towards the climax. And she makes a deal with the demon to rescue someone. Literally cementing the partnership in a way that I had never seen coming, and it was way more credible than my they'll start working together that I had in my mind. So, and I reached the end, I wrote the end, closed it, set it aside, and walked away. I was done. I was never going to touch this thing again. I was never going to write again. And maybe 2 weeks later, I picked it up, started reading it, kept on reading it, kept waiting for it to be horrible. Because that's what it felt like when I wrote it. And I just kept reading and reading, and then I reached the end and I went, fuck, this ain't bad. And, it's sort of where I internalize the things that work for me, which are basically just let the characters be. They know the story better than I do. So I will provide a framework for what I want the story to be, where I think it's going to end up, and then my character just go in, do their things, and keep going. Feels cliche and original as hell. Who cares, Jeff? It doesn't matter if it feels cliche or unoriginal. Every story out there has been told. It is now genuinely impossible to tell an original story. I don't care what people think. It is impossible. Every story told today is a derivative of something that has come before. There are no new original story. The only thing left is your version of that story that no one else but you can tell. So tell a story that you enjoy telling. Don't try to make other people happy. Don't try to please the market. Find a story that you enjoy writing, that you want to see the ending of, that the joy of, I don't know if you're a discovery writer or a planner, but the joy of laying the story down, finding out what is happening, what will happen, how it ends, that feeling drives you through the writing. If you can do that, it's going to be a whole lot easier to stick with it. Then stop worrying about everything else. Just tell a story that you have fun telling. Start with something simple. Start with something smaller. The story I finished, that first story was something like 30 pages, if I remember correctly. Like, it was not a big story. It was not an epic. It was just a story. It was a simple adventure, detective-ish story with supernatural stuff in it. And honestly, half the stuff in it probably doesn't make any sense, because I wasn't worrying about making sense. I was just worrying about finishing the bleeping thing. But again, once a story is finished, it can be improved. That story that you feel is cliche and unoriginal, well, once it is finished, you can go back in it and go, well, this is a cliche that doesn't work. Can I tell it differently? Can I rework the scene so that the cliche is not needed? This is unoriginal. Okay, how can I make alteration to this so that it is a little more original? Or that that even if it's unoriginal, that it feels fun to read or fun to write. But this is the thing, is that until the story is finished, you cannot improve the story. AI does not make a good anything. AI is the worst thing you can go to for help. I'm sorry. AI is the worst. Period. Do you? I understand the nervousness, but I cannot identify with it. I've always thrown my writing to the universe. When I discovered the internet, I started posting everything I wrote, literally first draft. And I told people, tell me what's wrong. Because that's the only way I know how to improve. The only way I know to get better is for someone to take my story, rip it to shred, and tell me everywhere I screwed up. Now, I appreciate it when they do it in a constructive way, and not everybody does. But again, on that level, I understand your nervousness. I cannot identify with it. But, find a community that you are comfortable with. Find a community that you can have honest conversation about your writing with, a community you can have honest conversation with about your writing, and there's almost certainly where the conversation does not make you feel diminished, where they're able to talk about the writing in a constructive and encouraging way, even when they go, see what you did here? This could have been done better. Have you considered this, this, or that? It's not going to be easy, but they are out there. They're, and sometimes you might find you might find a community where half of them are assholes, but there's a couple of them that gives you good stuff. So, talk to those people. But yeah, AI is not a good thing at all. If you have the money, Lit and Latte, I do not know who that is. If you have the money, hire an editor. When you go looking for an editor, tell them your situation. Tell them that you are brand new. Again, this is if you have the money. I don't know if you do. And, explain to them literature and latte. Wait, isn't that Scrivener? Yeah, that's the website for Scrivener. If they have something about with proofreading and stuff like that, I don't know. This is where I bought Scrivener, which is the word processor I use, and that's the only thing I know it for. And holy cow. $20 for Scrivener 3? Is that a special or is that the regular price? Wow. Oh, okay. I cannot speak to what you'll see there. I've never made use of it. Most of my, like I said, my editors, before I could afford one, was the internet. I would put my stuff on furry websites and I would tell them, you know what, hurt me. And they did. And I learned. And I improved. And, now I think I'm decent. Well, there's not a furry site for stories specifically, but if you go to Fur Affinity, people post stories there. Same with Weasel. Same with So Furry, although So Furry is down right now. Same with Ink Bunny. To be fair to all these sites, the writing community there is no longer that great. The interaction with writers that the readers used to have is not really there. We're talking 20 years ago kind of thing. Readers really interacted with writers, and other writers would interact with other writers, and that's back when I did a lot of learning. But yeah, nowadays, I don't see a lot of interaction. The story I post on there don't get any traction. Barely anyone interacts with writers anymore. Well, your characters are shifters. That would definitely appeal to a slice of the furry community. Beyond that, it would depend a lot on what they're shifters. So what kind of story is it? Is it romance? Is it paranormal investigation? With shifters, it probably lends itself towards the paranormal. So urban fantasy place might enjoy those. Romance, political drama. You will probably have a better chance of finding places for romance instead of political drama. I can't speak to political stuff because I don't write political, so I've never looked for sites regarding political stuff. And I don't write romance, but romance is everywhere, so I have no choice but to notice it. Think the market is too saturated for yet another romance? My gut reaction is yes, but if that's what you want to write, write it. Again, write what you enjoy. Okay, I need to caveat stuff. Unless your goal is specifically to make money. I'm not talking, well, I've written this, so I'll make outside and maybe I'll make $1 or $2. No. If your goal is for your book to make you hundreds and thousands of dollars, do not pay attention to the market. The only time a writer should pay attention to the market is if their goal is specifically to make money. And if that is the case, be ready to be miserable. Because if the goal is to make money, you cannot write what you want. You cannot write what you like. You have to write what your audience demands. You doubt you get a guy from your work, wouldn't even know how to market it? Then stop worrying about the market. You're not going to be screaming to the wind with your story. You are going to be entertaining yourself and by extension, others. Here's the thing. If you enjoy the story, there's other people out there who will also enjoy it. It doesn't matter what the story is. If you enjoy it, someone out there will. It is an absolute. You are not the only one who enjoys this thing that you are creating. There's too many people out there. There is overlap all the time. So write what you enjoy. Make sure that you have the best time of your life in the process. And once it's done, once you are happy with the end result, no matter how many drafts it takes, when you put it out there, somebody will enjoy it. I'm not saying it's going to be immediate, but by putting it out there, eventually someone will find it and they'll go, I like this. They might even go, do you have more? But don't worry about that. We all need to take a breath and stop focusing on others. This writing, this is about us. This is about making us happy. Or at least it should be. If you're not sure you want to be known, then yes, use a pseudonym. No one but you can answer that question. It is entirely because it's about your comfort level. My real name is on all my books because I don't give a damn. That's the kind of person I am. I just don't give a damn. I should not have put my name on all my books because they're so different that they're confusing readers. I should have found ways of, well, like I'm doing with Dungeon Runner, instead of Sylvain Saint-Pierre, it's S. Saint-Pierre. Still my name, just not the same way, so that people who pick up that won't look at the rest thinking that it's the same thing. If I had been more savvy when I started publishing, I would probably have split my initial series into 2 groups. Because at the very least, my porn should not belong under the same name as. Who cares, Jeff? Who cares if your stories are controversial? I mean, okay. If you're talking, you're talking about racism and slavery and neo-Nazis. Okay, yeah. But if you're just worried about the fact that, I don't know, there are gay people in your stories, that's going to be controversial, who flipping cares? Like, on that level, it is your judgment call. Again, it's about how comfortable are you having your name associated with that story. And here's the thing. Nobody else's opinion matters. It doesn't matter if I say you should put your name on there. If you're not comfortable with it, don't. Your sense of comfort is the only thing that matters. I know a writer who probably has 12 pseudonyms because she doesn't want the stuff associated with her and she doesn't want the stuff associated with each other. So pretty much a lot of stuff she writes is under a bunch of different names. That's how she likes it. And that's fine. If you want a pseudonym, use a pseudonym. It's that simple. I'm going to be a little harsh at this point, Jeff. Because with all your questions, all the way they're worded, all the way they're all about, maybe I shouldn't do this. You're overthinking it and you're worrying for nothing. Honestly, just write until your story is finished. Thinking about the next step, about how to edit, about what name to put is literal procrastination. It's literally you finding reasons not to write. And I'm not saying you are consciously going, I'm going to trick people into thinking I want to write. But it is, it's a subconscious thing. It's we are our own worst enemy. And at some point, you have to realize that. I had to take my internal editor, throw him in a cage, lock the door, throw the key, and forget it ever existed. Until I did that, I never finished the story. Because the moment I wrote 4 words on the page, they were not identical to what was in my head. Therefore, it was not perfect. Therefore, I could not continue. That's how I procrastinated until like I said, when I finished my first story, understood how I work, what I needed to do. And that's when my editor went down the dungeon. And he has not shown up since. And if he does, I'm going to shoot him. But yeah, there's a point at which we need to be honest with ourselves and realize that we are getting in our own way. On that level, my advice is make a schedule. Every day, if you can, every day, if you can at the same time. Dedicate 15 minutes. If you don't have 15 minutes, dedicate 5. Dedicate a certain amount of time to write. And in that time, the only thing you are allowed to do is be with the pad of paper, the word processing, whichever way you write, that is the only thing you're allowed to do. Maybe you won't write. Maybe you'll be blocked for a while because it's going to be a pretty big shock to your system. But that is the only thing you are allowed to do. Because you need to train yourself to write. Writing is not something most of us are born wanting to do or knowing how to do. Very few people have an aptitude to write. If you want to write, you need to train yourself. And training yourself is not, at the bottom line, is not about reading about it. It's not about talking about it. It's about writing. If you are not writing, you are not training yourself to write. You are training yourself for everything else, but not to write. So my advice is look for, and again, like if you can do it every day, at the same time, it's easier because we are creatures of habit as a species. So if you can build a habit, if you can, literally, this here is my habit. That's why I had to get out of my gaming chair and come stand here to be able to write, because that is my I don't write chair. So even though I wanted to write while I was there, I was bored on YouTube. I mean, I should write something, and I would go, yeah, I should start Scrivener. Yeah, I should add that, but I wasn't doing it. I was just talking about it until I got out of the chair, turned this computer, stood here, because this is where I write. When I started standing here, and it didn't boom, I was writing. Like, I stared at the page for a while. I go, okay, where was I? What was interesting? But then I wrote a couple of words, then a few more. But yeah, to be a writer, we have to write. It's in the name. It's in what's it called. You know, we can't talk about it and be writers. We, as a community, we try to be nice. You know, we'll say, well, yes, if you're working on the world building, yeah, you are doing writing and all that. But at some point, we need to go, yeah, but he's been working on the world building for a decade now. Is he actually writing, or is he procrastinating the act of writing? Like, at some point, again, like, it's about honesty. Like, I do not want to discourage a writer from writing, but at some point I think I don't have a choice but to put the mirror up and go, look at yourself. Are you writing? And I understand that is not always a comfortable question to answer. And I'm not saying you have to answer it out loud. And when I say you, I mean all the writers out there. I don't mean you, Jeff, specifically. I mean all the writers out there. Because we need to be honest with ourselves. At some point, we need to look at what we're doing and go, are we writing? Or are we just saying we want to write? Are we writing or do we want to have written? Because that's not the same thing. Hey, Quillimp, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? So yeah, like at this, like a lot of what you're saying, a lot of the question you're asking, they're good question. They're not bad question. But at the stage you're at, they feel like procrastination. You think you have a major confidence problem, Jeff? You think you're alone? You think I have confidence? You think, trust me, writers are the masters of the imposter syndrome. We all believe we're crap. We just write anyway. Trust me, every morning when I get up, I go, I think I'm wasting my time. Maybe now you book Nostradamus read. I do not know. Maybe I know that book. No, I'm sorry, Evaldas. I do not know that book. Nostradamus read Coward Tower. I do not know that book. But yeah, Jeff, confidence. If you are waiting to have confidence, you will never write. Writing is something that happens in spite of the lack of confidence. That's why I tell writers, find something you love to write about. Find that story because the love of that story will push you through that lack of confidence, because you are going to love it. You're going to want to see what comes next. You are going to want to experience the act of discovering the next step in the story. That's why it's important to write for you, to write what you enjoy. 25 years ago, I don't know it. And with a name like that, it doesn't sound like something I would have read. But that's the thing, Jeff. Writing, that's why building the habit. Because once you train yourself, confidence no longer matters. Like I said, I wake up every morning and the first thing that pops in my head is, am I wasting my time with this? The second thing is, I need to get my coffee going. The third is, let's stand here and start writing, because that's what I do at this time. And once I start writing, unless I'm having a really bad day, all the worries go away. I get pulled into the story, I write, and I just have fun. You are welcome, Evaldas. We can't wait for the writing to happen. We have to make it happen. I sleep alone. It's very rare that I have a partner in bed, and when I have a partner in bed, work doesn't happen. But it's always on the weekend, so work's not supposed to happen. What did I call this design? Ocean. Okay. What's the good amount of time to devote to writing per day would be to avoid burnout? You are starting, Jeff. So here's my advice for someone at your stage. Start with 5 minutes a day at the same time if you can. Allow yourself to write beyond that if it happens. But don't write for more than 1 hour a day. Because you are starting. Writing is a muscle. Writing, you can't start a marathon on the first day of learning to run. You have to build up your endurance. If you want to avoid burnout, you have to avoid. Yes. Let me get you the link. It's Miracle of Sound. Let me get you their. There you go. That's their YouTube. If you want to take a look at them, they have pretty much all their music there. I bought their discography because I love their music. I really love their music. I mean, and they're very geek in that pretty much all their music is about games. It's about music, movies. It's about TV. Like it, you can find you can link pretty much every song they've done to a piece of media. But yeah, Jeff, you want to start slow. And here's the thing. You want to stay slow for a while. Even if you feel like writing longer. Even if you hit the end of your hour and go, I want to keep writing. Don't. Stop. Go do something else. If you can write consistently for that hour for 6 months in a row, add half an hour. Do that for another 3 or 4 months. Add another half hour. Beyond that, I can't tell you when to stop. I will advise to never go beyond a work day. I start writing at 8 a.m. in the morning. I stop at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. I do that Monday to Friday. Nothing else. This is an exception. Like I said, I was bored out of my mind. But I would not let myself do this on a regular basis. Because doing this regularly, writing like this regularly would burn me out. Now, granted, to be fair, considering the amount of talking I'm doing, I don't know if this qualifies as writing, but I don't complain. I'm not complaining. This was about alleviating the boredom, and talking with you guys and ladies does that perfectly. That, the fact that that words aren't really getting written, that's inconsequential. So, but yeah, you want to take it slow, because if you burn out, you're not gonna write, and it's not always easy to come out of a burnout, especially because we have a tendency of guilt or tripping ourselves in a burnout. But yeah, you need to train. And training needs to be taken easy. You've heard two branches of idea for this? Cool. What are they? Write for exam amount of time. If you write an hour, write for an hour. Get up. You're in the middle of the sentence. Doesn't matter. Okay. They are all nice songs. Evaldas. Word count. Don't go high. Start with them. Yeah. Yeah. If time is not something that's going to work with you, go with a word count. That is an alternate way to do it. I use time because time has always worked better for me than word count. And I reflexively go for that. But yes, Kulip is very right. If time is not something that will work for you, word count might do. Ultimately, the important thing is less, is it a word count, is it a time? It's the regularity of it and taking it slow. Could go word count, paragraph count, or something. Yeah, again, like, find the method that will work for you that gets you writing. As I said earlier, the important part is that you write. When I started, I had a spreadsheet. And when I finished my sessions, I would write. I mean, I still have the spreadsheet, but it doesn't matter as much. It's now force of habit more than anything else. But I would write my word count. Because by then, because I needed to demonstrate to myself that I was improving. That overall, my word count kept slowly creeping up. Because in a vacuum, it felt like I was never progressing. It felt like I got writing done, but I wasn't improving. I wasn't getting better. I wasn't writing faster. I wasn't whatever criteria of the day I felt like I needed to apply. And then I listened to a podcast, and the lady there talked about, her magic spreadsheet on which she would write her day. And I went, what, that's a decent idea. So I started doing that. And then, now I had an objective demonstration that over time my word count increased. And I wanted to make it clear, it's over time, because day by day it went all over the place. Because on some days I didn't feel like writing. I would force myself, but very few words would happen. On other days I was inspired and I would have a ton of words. So, but the thing is, until you finish a book, until you finish a draft, again, you are worrying about something that feels like you're looking for an excuse to not write. If you write, I can promise you that you will improve. It's a promise. If you write regularly, if you write for a fixed amount of time, you will improve.
fates intertwined, sorrow in the memories, rooted, realigned, no cold comfort here for me. A meaning, a feeling, reason to be, a sickness in all the secrecy. If we're
tiniest flicker on the edge of the sky. Supernovas collapse in the blink of an eye. The man who would call on the deeds of the few, we would see this burden through. But if we find our way back home again, is there something left to say? What if we time has come to find your taste for danger. The time has come to find your place in nature. The bigger they are, no matter the price, no matter the temper, no matter the size. Go claim your prize. everything is upside down, when you're yelling but you make no sound, life is gonna spin you round. Whoa, and get a little bit stranger when everything is upside down. A tremor in the underground. The nights are gonna take this town. Whoa, and get a little bit stranger, stranger.
Thank you. Yep. I every song of Miracle of Sound is good as far as I'm concerned. Like there will be songs that I like more, some that I like less, but even those that, I go meh, they're still good. I cannot think of one song that if it comes up, I skip ahead. And there's been a few songs that I would have on repeat quite a lot. Hey Moonlight, doing well, thank you. Do I like Goust? I don't believe I know them. You know your English is horrible. It's understandable. I understand it enough. And that is something that improves with practice. Mortal Kombat Party! It's from their first album. That song is probably 15 years old now. Ghost. Mary. If you have a link to what you mean, if there's a song of it, like if you're talking about songs, might be best to just put the link in the chat.
chips left on this shoulder. No pride in growing older. But when your borrowed time is through, I'll be with you. Redemption blues. No man can truly outlast all the mistakes of his past. There's no haven here for me that's safe from my memories. But when your borrowed time is through, I'll be with you. Redemption blues. I'll be with you. Redemption blues. I'll be with you. Justice ain't no lady. She's a twisted, battered whore. Redemption. She's laying bruised and naked on a bloodstained wooden floor. I'll be with you. Our days are over. Time to change around this part. Redemption. There ain't no more cowboys. Only men with violent hearts. Redemption blues. Redemption blues. Redemption
All right, I am going to bring this to an end. $2,400 words. I'm pretty pleased with that. If you're still around, Jeff, this is my spreadsheet.
I am a seeker upon the trail. I am a keeper of untold tales, and there is no wall that I would not scale. I will not waver. The lights on the stones and the sleeping dirt, deep in the bones of the weeping earth. I search for an answer to heal your hurt. It's in my nature. Sunset, guide my way. Over the borders I will ride, over the waters I will glide, searching the trees and deserts dry. My path become clear. I'm heading for a new frontier. I'm letting go of
Question: is anybody here participating in Game of Tome?
my path is clear.
I don't see any name I recognize as such, but I just want to make sure because I don't think I'm going to raid anywhere. All right. I am going to take the silence to mean that nobody is participating in Game of Tom in the chat. So, have a good night, everyone. I'll be back Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully, I'll see you then. And you can find me on the Playing Tiger tomorrow morning, probably 6-ish, 5-ish. We'll see. So, have yourself a good rest of the weekend.